Hey everyone, Staff Sergeant Pineda here with the 17th Sustainment Brigade. I'm making this video because I was trying to find videos of this type of video and I just literally could not find anything for the life of me. I literally just got off the call of my aviation warrant panel, like not even a minute ago. I just want to make the video while the questions are still fresh in my head. So this video is just literally going to be everything I got asked so that you can prepare, and if I failed and I didn't get a slot, so I know to look back on this and know what to do for the next sport. So very first off, main question is background. I want to say I spent about 3 minutes on this. Would definitely recommend keeping it detailed as possible and as short as possible. Just because this is what, their idea of you is going to be in their head for the remainder of this board. So obviously don't go on a yapathon for 10 minutes, but don't forget to include things that really advertise your personality and strengths. I did prepare to be asked for my strengths and weaknesses. I didn't get asked that, but obviously that's something to consider. Let me look through this. And then of course, they asked me why do I want to be an Army aviator and what can I bring to it. I'm already a pilot, I'm already a fixed wing pilot, so that was kind of pretty easy for me. I just, the way I answered it was to expand my knowledge as an aviator, which that's exactly why I want to do that. And it's also, me personally, I'm trying to find a reason to stay in the Army. Right, and this is a way to kind of double dip by doing something I already enjoy and also expanding my knowledge in it. So obviously you're gonna get asked why and what are you gonna bring to the table. If you don't know a lot about aviation, it's a very small group of people in general, and it's more than flying. It's 10% flying, 90% everything else. It's meteorology, law, whatever, yada yada. So if you're a fucking weatherman, that's something that you could bring, your knowledge of weather theory, your experience with this and that. The question I was prepared for but I didn't get was my qualifications. For me, I wanted to advertise myself without already being a pilot. So one thing I was planning on saying was being in a leadership position, as you can see on E6, and making decisions for other people, or making decisions that affect other people, I should say, and then also having a degree and showing the commitment that I have towards obtaining my goal, whatever. Let's see, some other questions I was planning on being asked that I didn't get asked is, why are you good for this, and why are you good for the Nevada National Guard, which is where I'm boarding out of. Other questions to think about is which Army value describes you the most, and what does leadership mean to you. I did get asked some pretty tough questions that I was not prepared for. One of them, it took me probably a little too long to answer. It was, tell me about a time you made a commitment and you didn't follow up on it. I think I follow up on mine pretty good. I'm sure there's been a few amount of times that I didn't follow up on it. So I would definitely go through just regular interview questions, because it was definitely more interview questions than technical questions. I did get asked about hypoxia, 4 types, is toxic, hypemic, hypoxic, and I completely forgot the other one. Whatever, but it was 3 more than most people wouldn't know. So they also gave me the opportunity to explain spatial disorientation. So the first question was, or the second or whatever was, can you define hypoxia or spatial disorientation? Off the rip, hypoxia, lack of oxygen to the brain. I know that like the back of my hand. Spatial disorientation, it's like the, whatever, I'm not gonna go into that. But that's things that you could get asked, that I got asked. Another question I got asked was, tell me about a time that you tell me about a time that you went through, I'm just going to reword this around, but basically, tell me about a time that you sucked at something and what did you do to get better at it. That's the basis of the question. She worded it a little bit differently, but that's the basis of the question. So what did you suck at? What did you do to get better at it? I brought up some of my flight school experiences. Power off 180's biggest enemy. I did a 4-hour flight, about 18 takeoffs and landings to figure that motherfucker out, and we got that. Another question was, this is mainly for reserve and guard, but it's more about time management and how do you plan on doing that, being in the guard and with your civilian life. A lot of people usually go through the military to become pilots and then they want to go to the airlines. Did mine a little different. I already did my flight training. I'm already United Aviate cadet or whatever. My training's done, so it's not like I have to go and take time off of drill and whatnot for flight school. So if you're a reserve or guard component, that's something to think about. How are you going to manage that time? Because obviously you could probably get very last minute missions, stuff like that, and it's a 10-year commitment, right? So that's a big one. Moral of the story of this: how are you going to manage your time? Are you aware that you're going to have to, manage your time? Another question for me specifically is, I got asked if I went to your soldiers, how would they describe you? I probably messed this one up because I was a little too truthful, but I told them they'd probably say I'm pretty unserious, but I get the job done. I'm extremely close with all my soldiers. We all goof off, but we get the job done. You know what I mean? We try to make it a work-friendly environment. So I probably should have said that right there, a work-friendly environment. Definitely choked, but whatever. So if you're an NCO or any type of leadership role, you can think about that question for sure. Of course, you got asked, what helicopter do you want to fly? I know for active duty, I think you guys kind of get selected, like what you get the aircraft selected for you. I'm not sure if reserves is any different, but for the guard, it's, certain slots are open, so that's what you're gonna get. If there's not a Chinook slot, or there's a Lakota slot, you're getting the Lakota slot. So definitely do your research on the 4 different aircrafts. We don't have Apaches in Nevada, but I didn't really get asked any technical questions about any of the aircrafts at all, which is what I mainly prepared for, because I'm a fixed-wing pilot. I'm not a helicopter pilot, so still definitely would recommend, learning what a cyclic, collective, what the anti-torque pedals do, where's the throttle, yada yada, just the basic minimum stuff. Obviously, a lot of people that are boarding have no aviation experience at all, so they don't expect you to, explain aerodynamics and how lift works off the rip. So, but definitely would recommend knowing the basic stuff about the Army's aircrafts. What else did I get asked? Towards the end, they were really picking on like, are you sure this is something you can commit to? It's 10 years. Flight school is obviously about 1.5 years. One question I got asked is if there's a commissioned officer route, is that something that you would be willing to do? So I have my bachelor's, so I told them I would much prefer to be a warrant officer, but I'd definitely be grateful for any chance I could to be a part of this family with you guys, something along those lines. Yeah, the Guard and Reserve one, definitely that commitment. We'll definitely practice wording that, because I did not at all. And the reason, I don't know, I think the reason for me is because like I'm gonna do it. It's the military, right? If my employer disagrees with it, like boo-hoo, like it's the military. So, but everyone's situation is different. I guess it could kind of be difficult for me because I'm already a pilot on the civilian side. So, yeah, that. What other questions did I have? Oh, this was a good one. one of the, I think it was the UH-60 commander or something. He asked me, so I live in Las Vegas, very hot, dry, and then most of our aviation units are up north in Reno, where it's high altitude and lots of snow. And he asked, he was like, if you got called for a medevac mission, and you know, they say like, yo, this guy's gonna die in an hour if we don't get him. It was illegal to fly, so I kind of asked again, like, what do you mean, like visibility requirements, weather requirements? He was like, yeah, we could say visibility or whatever it is, right? It's you're breaking regulation to fly. Would you still go get him? And it took me a little bit of a thought process, because obviously, you know, you have a dying person. In aviation, safety is the number one thing, no matter what. Safety, because you are manning a heavy piece of machinery in the air that can fall out of the sky at any minute if you don't pre-fly correctly, and if you don't know how to think critically or use your checklist right. Now, that's already one hard part about it. The other hard part about it is understanding weather, and for any of you future aviators, weather is going to be your biggest nemesis. I don't know a single person that loves weather theory, but moral of the story is, the colder it is, the easier it is to fly. Now, if it's too cold to the point that it's icing conditions, it's a little bit different, because it starts messing with your the aerodynamics of the plane due to icing. And I mean, I'm not sure if the military has different regulations, but correct me if I'm wrong, civilian world, you are not allowed to fly into known icing conditions unless you have specific anti-icing or de-icing equipment. So certain planes obviously can, right? They have boots or, you know, pitot heat, whatever they got, but not every aircraft does, right? Like a little Cessna, we only have a pitot heat. That's not gonna prevent my wings from icing up. And I'm not too familiar with the anti-icing, de-icing equipment with helicopters, but regardless, flying in any kind of icing conditions is extremely dangerous. And so I just kind of played it safe, and I personally said no, just because, one, we're already now meeting weather minimums. If it's snowing, you know, there's no visibility at all, and there's that chance of ice, and in Lake Tahoe area, there's definitely a lot of forestation. So I personally answered no. I don't know if that was a good answer. They all kind of were just like, okay. Because like at the end of the day, right, Army aviator, any aviator in the military, is the first mission is being a warfighter. So definitely look into scenario questions, specifically. I mean, honestly, any type of scenario questions, but obviously warfighter questions for sure. What else did I get asked? CCWO, he asked me about, he's the one that asked me about favorite aircraft. I explained why, for me, I would prefer to fly the Black Hawk. I love the versatility of it. The CCWO that asked about it, he is this man will probably put on his grave that the Chinook is the greatest military aircraft of all time, right? I would put money on it that will be on his grave one day. You know, I can only, I don't know, I kept it above with him, you know. Chinook is great, it's amazing, I'm not, you know, downplaying it at all, but I don't know. I went into why I like the UH-60, this and that. Before they asked, they were all kind of like, you know, be careful what you say. Black Hawk Commander, obviously, it's like, hell yeah. What else did I get asked? Let's see, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did get asked about one of my, I had a check ride failure, my private pilot check ride failure, and I got asked, you know, I just went through the whole scenario, what happened, why I failed, and what did I do to bounce back. So for people that aren't pilots, probably think about you know, scenarios like that. What did you fail? How did you bounce back? You know, how did you build that resiliency? Yeah, I want to say that's that's about it. That's the questions I got asked. Kind of went through the stuff that I was expecting to answer and didn't get asked. So all these people, they already knew that I was already a pilot. So I think that's why, I don't know, maybe they veered questions a certain direction because of that. But the really big one the topic that really got emphasized a lot was the commitment. What are you going to do to really commit stuff? Another question I did get asked is if you can change anything about your personality, what would it be? I said being more social off the rip. I definitely like to sit back and observe before I show my personality. Probably wasn't the best answer because in the aviation community, like everyone's got to get along. It's a very tight community, so think about that. You know, I wouldn't recommend making anything up. I definitely would stay truthful to your words because it's really hard to keep up with lies. And, you know, you're just more authentic when you keep it a buck, right? Everyone has flaws and they're not expecting you to be perfect, obviously. Yeah, I got asked that as well. And then, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. But the big one, the big thing that I got out of this is figure out how to answer that commitment question, time management. It's a 10-year commitment, right? You know, and not only is it a 10-year commitment, you're gonna be gone for a year and a half. It's not like a deployment where you're gone for 9 to 12 months. It's a year and a half. It's in the States. Sure, I'm not really sure how flight school works. I think it's Monday through Friday. I know they start grounds in the morning, fly in the afternoon. Either way, you know, if I get selected, if I go to flight school or anything, I don't know, maybe I'll make videos about that, what to expect. I can tell you right now, flight school is not fucking easy at all. So I would imagine military flight school isn't either. Luckily, I am already a pilot, so I am at a major advantage because really the only thing that I'm learning is a new aircraft and military regulations. Everything else is the same thing, weather theory, aeromedical factors, all that good stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and comment below. If I get an overwhelming amount of questions, I might just make another video. This is my first YouTube video ever, so I'm really making this for me in case I didn't get it, and just because I was so mad that I wasn't able to find a video of someone that finished the board and, you know, actually talked about the questions they got asked. So I did one through Teams, so if you have any questions about the actual board and in person, I'm not the person to ask, for sure. So, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Comment if you have any questions, I guess I'll reply. If it's a lot, I'll make a video. Yada, yada. See you.